pretty good hitting team over there. Did a really nice job. What do you think made you so effective?
I went out there just want to keep that ball down in the zone. They like to swing and swing pretty early, and thought I could keep the ball on the ground, let that defense work. Gorm made some really nice plays over third. Mason Wilson at first. Also, Flamingo back on some balls. So just, they're going to swing a lot. They're going to swing early. I want them to swing at my pitches, keep that ball down the zone.
When you face a team with that kind of power that is going to swing early in counts, does that change how you attack them at all?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think I'm at my best when I'm down in the zone. Sink it, cutting it down there. Trying to keep them on the ground, keep them off balance a little bit, and we got a nice big ballpark here. Really good defense. So it's one of those things where this team kind of works out for me if I can keep them on the ground and keep the contact weak, be really successful.
Miles, you do your studying, I'm sure, but does watching it last night or being here yesterday, pitching the second game of the series, seeing how they swung the bat against Sunday, did that help you at all?
Yeah, I'm in here every time he goes out to the mound. I like to come in and try to watch some of the game on the TV in here so I can get a better look at kind of what they're doing and the way they react to certain pitches. So it always helps going second. Being able to kind of read what they're doing. As far as their approach, against us as a whole goes.
What's it like seeing Swanson and Romero come in and kind of back you up?
They've been great. Swanee's been great ever since he's, gotten a chance to come up here, and especially now, at the end of the season, getting in a more consistent role. He's been incredible, and JoJo, we all know how great JoJo's been in the past, and he's really kept it up this year. Really kicked into second gear after the All-Star break. Really, kind of soaking into that closer role. He's been great.
Miles, when you think about just Devon and just kind of how he's been able to grow this year, just how big is that for just kind of himself and just kind of having that on the team?
Yeah, he's had an up and down year with those injuries, but the thing that's been consistent is his bat. When he's in the lineup, he's always a power threat. He swings the heck out of that bat, and always seems to come up big. I think the majority of his hits and homers, come late in the game and in some big spots. I know he's had some really big homers for us this year. It's been fun and awesome to watch. Some of these younger guys, including him, really mature and take on those leadership roles.
I don't see you issuing a lot of intentional walks. It was a smart one tonight. Just your thoughts on that situation?
Yeah, a couple of righties on deck there. Their best hitter at the plate. Guys in scoring position. It just kind of makes sense. I told Dusty I was going to throw all the pitches in the dirt anyway. I had an opportunity earlier in the game to kind of pitch around him, and I didn't, and kind of got burned there. That double hit really good. So just working smarter, not harder.